Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Boltyn Battles. It's been a while. I've just been waiting for Dynasty spoilers to come up. And yeah, Boltyn gets, without any new support, Boltyn's just Boltyn, you know? And look, we got one card. Awesome. But anyways, you're not going to see that card in this video because it's one card, it doesn't come up, and I don't think I'm going to search for it with Beacon of Victory. So here we start with an Engulfing Light. I am quite curious as to why he doesn't just block with two cards, because Engulfing Light went into my soul. That's a pretty normal turn, I guess. It's a pretty simple turn for turn 1. He just let me get a soul in, which I am kind of happy about. Here, I put Social in my arsenal instead of like the Battlefield Blitz, because I do want to try and be a little bit more defensive against Rhinar, considering that Reckless Swing just kills me and I've been scarred by that a lot of times. Here, yes, I do have an opportunity to use the Soul Shield, but I realized that if I were to use the Soul Shield, pitching either one of Take Flight or Bolt of Courage, I wouldn't have a great follow-up the following turn. So here I chose to keep Social in the arsenal, and I'll have a V, Vanguard, Battlefield Blitz, and a Radiant, all for the cost of 1 soul, which I don't really mind. So that's 4, 6, and 4. 14? Yeah. So what could I have done differently here? I guess I could have Soul Shield. I'll pitch the Bolt of Courage, I guess, the Soul Shield. And then what would be my next turn? I have a Take Flight, a Battlefield Blitz, and a blue Take Flight, a Battlefield Blitz, and a V of a Vanguard. Yeah, I don't see that turn being powerful at all. So here he doesn't block, gives me Pulping, which I checked. It has go again regardless if or not if I block. So I just choose to let it go, because once again, what's my next turn? My next turn could be if I do Soul Shield right now, I pitch away the Beacon of Victory. It will be Soul Shield, Engulfing Light, Charge, Courageous Steel Hand, Radiant. That's about 9 damage, which is fair. Here I do take some time to consider whether I Soul Shield now, and I realize that since this has go again, I can just Soul Shield later and it wouldn't matter. I don't have to commit to my next turn plans now. He goes with a Swing Big, and now, because I didn't Soul Shield on the first attack, now I can consider using a Soul Shield. And I think about it, I'm like, is it really worth 6, 8, 14 damage to do what I want to do, pushing 9 damage, and still have a Soul Shield start in arsenal? Assuming I didn't block Swing Big, my answer was no. So what I had to do, that wasn't really worth the trade-off. So now I'm just thinking, how do I get it out? How do I use the Soul Shield? And then I realized that I can just block with the Engulfing Light and then Soul Shield, and then just keep the Courageous Steel Hand. My opponent asked me, was like, do you like the Quicken token? And I was like, definitely. So yeah, it's a good consideration, and I'm glad I didn't Soul Shield at the start. I think having that discipline to realize that you can always make this decision on the next move really just opens up your options when you're playing Boltyn, and boy does Boltyn really need that. So here I block and then I Soul Shield. It's a bit awkward because the next turn, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to Engulfing Light, Charge, and a Radiant? That would be what, 2 and 3 with a Quicken token. I didn't really think that was going to be worth it. So instead, what I just opted to do was bite the bullet. I took the 6 at the front. I just take that as I paid 6. He caught up. And so here I just Arsenal Courageous Steel Hand. Because I'm waiting for a turn where I can use it. And this turn doesn't seem like it. This turn seems better. I see a Snatch that goes very well with Courageous Steel Hand. I see the take flight doesn't matter to me because blue, yuck. I might as well Engulfing Light. And then Courageous Steel Hand or Beacon of Victory. So here he pitches he discards a Skull Crack, which first time seeing that card, which I guess it comes in handy here because it allows him to claw. But here Breakneck Battery comes in for 6. So in my head, what I'm considering is just 6/3/3 from both Mandible Claws. That's about 12 damage, and I look at my hand and I'm wondering, can I do 12? With the Engulfing Light, Snatch, and the Beacon of Victory, I do think I can do 12, so I'll just take the damage. And plus, when you're playing Boltyn, I never go Sabers into Rhinar, because all they do is just intimidate the crap out of you, and Sabers can't do much with a 4-card hand that it can't do with a 2-card hand, you know? So even if I were to block it out, and I stall for the turn, I am already down 1 card. But the Beacon of Victory will be still stuck in my hand next turn, and I can't do anything about that. So I'm forced to present an actual attack. So I'll Engulfing Light, throw away the Take Flight, cause Take Flight. Okay, so another consideration, right? When you Beacon of Victory, I know it's habitual for us Sabers players to go and find a Lumina, but a Lumina represents an additional 4 damage, while a card like Valiant Trust represents an additional 7. A card like Snatch represents 4 on hit, draw a card. So it isn't really always a must to go and find Lumina unless you're running low on soul. Here I'm not running low on soul. Here I'm considering what I'm supposed to do, whether I want to use Engulfing Light to get the on hit for Engulfing Light. Because I have the Quicken token, I don't have to care about giving it go again. So here there is a consideration. Another thing about Boltyn is when you're trying to, you need to have soul discipline, you know, learning how many souls to take out for Beacon of Victory, min-maxing at the end of the game how many souls you have when you win, because those are souls you didn't use for Beacon of Victory. And yeah, I decided I'll take out 1 to find a... Here I was thinking of finding a Valiant Trust, that was what I was looking for, but I realized I could Snatch. And I realized that if I played this right, I could Engulfing Light, followed by a Snatch, either Beacon of Victory, find another Snatch, Snatch again, Courageous Steel Hand, and Radiant. I didn't see that play because I didn't really account for the Snatch. So here I just Valiant Trust, followed by I think I followed it up with I followed it up with Snatch first. Yeah, because if I Snatch first, I'm really gonna give it go again, which means I get to have information about the card I draw before I choose to raid it. So I wrote notes, you know. So if I were to have just let the Engulfing Light not hit, it would have been my total damage output would be 2 plus 4 because of the Snatch, plus 1 Beacon, plus 4 because of the Snatch that I find from the other Beacon, 3 with Courageous, 3 with Radiant, and I will end the turn with 2 cards. So that will be 18 damage with a 2-card hand, and potential for more damage output with the 2-card hand because I can give Radiant go again. But the turn, what I did on my turn was 2 from the Engulfing Light, plus 1 Beacon, plus 7 Valiant, plus 4 Snatch, plus 3 Courageous, plus 3 Radiant. So I did 20 damage, and I ended the turn with 1 card. So I do think the right play was to find another Snatch. And who doesn't like double snatching and double buffing Snatch, right? Here my hand is a bit awkward because of the double sync belows, and I have V of the Vanguard. That really can't help much. So I keep the V of the Vanguard because if anything happens, I can CNC. Here unfortunately he takes away all the cards I have except for V of the Vanguard, and I realized that I don't think I have a choice. Because if I brought a V of the Vanguard, my next turn is horrible. I pitched 2 for a CNC. So here, once again, you need to know when to block as Boltyn, and I took a look at his pitch. He has 1, and I realized that, hey, if he's gonna claw me, he has to pitch. And if he claws me, it means that my CNC is useless. If he doesn't claw me, then I can just CNC next turn. So here I choose to take the 6, and then he chooses to claw. So now with this claw, I know that my CNC is useless. I throw away the CNC in hopes of finding another card. Here I am met with another interesting choice. I could take flight Radiant 4/4/3, or I could take flight Radiant Courageous. It would be 4/3/3, but it would lure him into a sense of security and perhaps force him not to block and let me eke out the game. So here I decided to go with the Courageous Steel Hand play, because at the end of the day, even if that doesn't work out, I can still arsenal it. Then again, you could say the same for the arsenaling the take flight. So here with the take flight, he blocks for 4, or he blocks for 3, which brings him to 6, which is perfect lethal because Radiant only threatens 3. So here he isn't forced to block, lure him into a sense of security, and then you just Courageous Steel Hand him for the win. So yeah, there is a argument for going take flight, and take flight Radiant, because that threatens 4, 4, and 3. 4, 4, and 3 is 11. He had 3 blocks with equipment, so that would have threatened 8, and that would, with that 8 damage, it would have threatened lethal. That will force 1 card out of his hand. Between forcing 1 card out of his hand or having an opportunity to win straight up with a Courageous Steel Hand, I decided to go with the Courageous Steel Hand play. So yeah, that's pretty short. Clearly we didn't see the spirit of that L. I don't even know why it's an L, but anyways, I do hope that maybe in the next game I will be able to see it in use. But yeah, that's another episode of Boltyn Battles. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.